Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello and welcome to Footy JUDGEMO. People, listen. We all saw the press conference. We all read the news. We need to talk about some stuff that happened. Enzo Maresca is backing him. His manager is not backing him. He's literally saying that, listen, there is nothing more to talk about. We'll talk about Enzo Fernandez and the situation as well. And what I think, and what I get your opinion. What do you guys think should happen? How do you think the club should act? Because Enzo is about to go back to the camp of Chelsea next week. They played their first game today, so he had a press conference. We'll have to talk about that. And also, there is talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold being offered a mega contract, 300K a week by Liverpool, who are confident of keeping the best right back in England at the current moment, if you want to say so. Him being the second highest paid player at Liverpool. Trent, the contract, it might be sorted. Should he sign it? Should he not? I'll tell you my opinion. Of course, I want to hear what people think and what people think in the chat. And I want to hear what you think in the comments after the video as well. So stay with us here because we'll talk about that. And also, there are rumors that maybe Barcelona are struggling to get both Nico Williams and Dani Olmo at Barcelona. So maybe should Arsenal, should Chelsea actually do something about it, people? Should Arsenal push for it? We'll talk about the possibility of Arsenal pushing for Nico Williams as well. And also, we'll talk about the latest thing is Man United are targeting 2 defensive midfielders. They are back in negotiating for Amrabat, for a new deal for Amrabat. It might not be them buying him for the same price, but they're negotiating that. And Ugarte priced by PSG. There is negotiation. So these two are the ones that Man United are talking about. But again, there is only one thing to start with. And before we go on, I want you guys to hit that like button, to stay with us. And if you're watching this in the replay, hit the like button because it's essential for the channel. It is essential for us that you hit the like button because, listen, when you hit the like button, you get a notification. Turn on the notification bell as well to get notified when we go live next time if you're watching this on the replay. And it helps the channel massively if you hit the like button. So let's get to 100 likes right off the bat. And I'm not here, to be honest with you, and I'm going to start with the Enzo Maresca quote. And Fabrizio Romano tweeted, and let's get this to 150 so you guys can read what is happening. So basically what Fabrizio tweeted, and I want to talk about what should happen, what will happen, what I think should happen as well, and I want to get your opinion. But let me be honest with you, it is a very tricky situation. It's a very tricky situation. It is not easy for a club to deal with a player like Enzo Fernandez when the whole country, and it turned out to be political, to be honest, because the whole country is backing him. And there is his vice president, and also the song that was sung in the River Plate Stadium as well. That is a tricky situation. But what Maresca said, this is just me reading the tweet that's in front of you, is I don't think there will be a problem with Enzo Fernandez when he returns. There were no bad intentions. I spoke with Enzo. It's all clear now. It's all clarified by the player and the club. So that's it. Enzo has apologized. There is no problem at all. My point about this is that this is just me talking from my feeling, and I want to get your opinions as well, and I want to get you to challenge me as well. And this is not me trying to steer the pot against Chelsea or anything, or even making, listen, the Chelsea player, the Chelsea Football Club don't listen to me, but I want to get my opinion here because there is a dangerous situation here. And I don't know what has been said in the dressing room at Chelsea, what the players have said to each other. But my opinion about this is very simple. Chelsea need to do something about it. Chelsea need to do something about it. The reason why I think, that's Footy JUDGEMO's opinion, and I want to hear what you think about what I'm about to say, is that Chelsea don't want to leave this in the public court. What I mean the public court is Enzo Fernandez going to stadiums, Enzo Fernandez going to different stadiums around in Europe, going to different stadiums in England, and just being judged by the fans, because that can spark a really bad situation on the pitch. There can be chants that will hurt the players, that will hurt the player. That's number one. Number one, for Mo, that's my opinion. I thought about this, to be honest with you, when I read it, when I heard what Maresca said. I'm not sure if he's downplaying it or he's saying there is nothing else to be said. But if it was me advising, if it was me making a decision, I would think that whatever decision Chelsea are about to make, whatever situation that Chelsea have to deal with, they cannot just leave this like this because he apologized. Because we know that the crowd around the Premier League, we know that the people around in the Premier League are not going to forget what he said. And it's not only about him. It's not about Enzo personally. It's about what has been said in the Argentinian squad. In my opinion, when he says Enzo has apologized, there is no problem at all, that is him making the issue smaller than what it actually is. And I still think that Chelsea need to act. There has to be a disciplinary committee. There has to be something that happens to the player. I'm not sure what it is, a ban, sending him out on loan, whatever they're going to make. But there has to be a stance to be taken here, because you cannot leave Enzo. And this is simply, you cannot leave. And it's not only about the Chelsea camp. And by the way, all I have to tell you guys is that this is not me against Enzo. And it's, by the way, Stuff like this, when it already went to public, and this is my, again, I want to hear what you guys think. If it already went public, whatever action Chelsea can take, whatever action Chelsea will take, should be public. And I'm going to tell you why I think it should be public. I'm going to tell you why. This is, I tried to look for the full quote. If someone has the full quote, I actually heard what he said. I actually heard what he said in the press conference. But my point about this, and I'm just going to tell you what I think. The situation is already in public. Already, it's a video that was out there. It's video that is recorded. There are public information out there about a player unfollowing a player calling him out, blah, blah, blah. So the reason why, if Chelsea are going to make a decision or Chelsea are going to take an action, it has to be public. It is simply to avoid the clash that is going to happen between him and other players. And the reason why, if you say something about me, let me just give you an example, by the way. What Enzo Fernandez said, or what the Argentinian team said, it is not a personal dig at a player. You have to understand this. It's not a personal dig at a player in particular. It's not, for example, Ten Hag fighting with Jadon Sancho, and now we don't know what has been said, whatever thing, and they can solve it. What Enzo Fernandez and what the Argentinian team did, it hurt other people that don't play for Chelsea. These people deserve to know what is going to happen. And that is the problem here with the situation. It is so tricky that if Chelsea deal with it internally, the public people, by the way, I'm just going to tell you this. If a French player play for Aston Villa, or a player from an African descent that is, for example, I'm just going to give you an example, right? And I'm not going to say this is going to happen. A player, for example, like any player from an African descent that play for any other club that plays for the French national team, that play for the Belgium national team, what they're going to think is that this guy, in their eyes, said something about them. Said something negative about them from their point of view. So they want to know, what is the punishment? How are you going to deal with the situation? What do you mean you're going to deal with it internally? I want to know, what is the action you're taking? Does that make sense, people? For Chelsea people, I'm not saying, this is nothing against Chelsea as a football club. Chelsea have to, and by the way, if you fucking keep saying, I am defending Enzo, right? I'm going to fucking ban you. I'm not defending Enzo. I'm literally saying, if you fucking stop doing this shit in the chat and saying this, I'm literally saying Chelsea need to take a public action against the guy. Stop writing in uppercase. Mods, if someone fucking writes something like this, time them out. It's fucking ridiculous, bro. The reason why, it's not only about the Chelsea players internally, by the way. People think this is an internal matter for Chelsea. I don't think so. I don't think so. Yes, it's an internal matter for the French players that play for Chelsea, or the players. So, for example, they can talk to Fofana, Desassi, these guys internally, right? What about the other French players that got hurt, that their feelings that got hurt in the other clubs? What about them? What about if Chelsea go play a European team in the Conference League that have players from an African descent? What is the message? They're going to ask, what is the, how did you punish this guy? I want to know. This is what people need to understand. It is not an internal matter, by the way. It is not. People think this is between Enzo and Chelsea Football Club. It's not. This is not between Enzo and Chelsea Football Club. Because what Enzo said, he didn't say that. Whatever the and by the way, it's not only him, it's all the Argentinian team. What the Argentinian team said, he didn't target. He didn't say Fofana or Desassi. He spoke about every single African descent player that plays for a national team, for example, in France, or they play for France. That is what people need to understand, guys. I'm gonna give you an example. This is a great example, LFC Aram. Ibrahima Konate is a player from an African descent that plays for the French national team. When Enzo Fernandez and the teammates spoke about this, they didn't say the Chelsea football players or whatever thing they said, the Chelsea football player that plays for France. No, he spoke about the players from African descent. They took offense to it. It's racist. I think it's xenophobic. It is racist. It is not the right thing to say, in my opinion, to make fun of their descents because they play for France. And Enzo now is someone who is accused of this at Chelsea Football Club. So for me, I actually think that whatever discussion can happen can be internally, but whatever action is going to be taken has to be public. It has to be public because the other players in the Premier League and the other players around Enzo need to know what is going to happen. I'm just going to give you an example. He spoke about, which is Jed Sky saying Kunde. Kunde doesn't play in the Premier League, doesn't play for Chelsea, but he felt that he's targeted by that song and that chant being a French player from an African descent. Kunde is going to say, if it's all internal between Enzo Fernandez and Chelsea, Kunde is going to say, okay, this guy said a racist chant, or this particular group of players, right? And listen, I'm not saying here Enzo's intention or whatever. It is what it is. The fact is that chant is racist. That chant, right, is xenophobic, and it's not, and it should not have been sung. It's as simple as that, right? People need to understand this, that it is not about Fofana and Disasi, and it's not a Chelsea internal situation, right? It is not. It is about the other players as well that got their feelings hurt. That is what you need to understand. As a Chelsea fan, we aren't saying that the club should do this and do that. But we are saying that this is very simple. It is not an internal matter. This is not a spat between Enzo and Fofana that happened between them. It is not a spat between Maresca and Enzo that happened. It's not. It's a public situation. And by the way, you need to understand one thing, and I'm just going to repeat it again. And I'm going to give you a very plausible situation. Enzo going tomorrow, for example, in the Premier League to play any other team. How does the crowd feel? How does the crowd feel? I'm going to give you another example that you never thought about it. Bukayo Saka is from a Nigerian descent that plays for England. Chelsea tomorrow are playing Arsenal. I don't know how Bukayo Saka feels. I don't know. I'm just giving an example of a player. I don't know how Bukayo Saka feels. Bukayo Saka feels that, yes, he spoke about the French players. I am as well from an African descent that play for England. People need to understand this is not an agenda against Chelsea, and it has nothing to do with football. This, guys, the Chelsea fans that are hurt in the chat, it has nothing to do with football. It doesn't have to do with football. It has nothing to do with football. This is a bigger matter than football. And you need to understand this. You need to understand this. It is absolutely, this is a big matter that needs to be resolved, and it cannot be resolved internally. By the way, it cannot, and I don't think it should. This is my opinion. I'm not going to change it. Because if you speak publicly, we should know what is going to happen to you publicly. It's very simple. It is very simple, by the way. Internal matter, if it's an internal matter between Chelsea and Enzo Fernandez, the fact that Enzo Fernandez is employed by Chelsea gives Chelsea a chance to set an example here, to do the right thing. I don't know what the right thing is a ban, whatever they're going to do. Chelsea can decide it's internal. I think it's absolutely wrong. For Chelsea fans, I think you guys are absolutely. I know that why Chelsea wanna do it internally, and I know, by the way, I understand why Chelsea fans think that it's the right thing to deal with it internally. I actually understand. You are, by the way, Chelsea Football Club, Chelsea fans, guys, you guys are dealing with this in the football manner. It's not. I'm not speaking about Chelsea as a football club in terms of on the pitch or football or Maresca or all this stuff. This has nothing to do with football. It has nothing to do with football. This is what people need to understand. This has nothing to do with football. It's not. Because if it was about football, his teammates themselves spoke about it. It is, people think, oh my God, you guys hate Chelsea. You want to suspend Enzo or you want to ban Enzo. I don't care. I don't care. It's literally not an internal situation for Chelsea. Yes, it's ridiculous, to be honest, that people think this is an internal matter. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, it is what it is. The problem and the reason why I spoke about it today is because Maresca spoke about it in the press conference. And again, I don't think he should have spoken, he should have said anything about it, in my opinion. And by the way, I know that the club has PR and everything, but I actually think that maybe he should have let the club deal with it, official statements and stuff like that. Because everyone, by the way, a lot of people, some people, and a big majority and a big chunk of people think that he played it down. That is what he said. A lot of people think that. A lot of people think that. And that's what people need to understand. It has nothing to do. For Suarez, by the way, whatever he did with Patrice Evra, and I said this, Suarez got, to be honest with you, I actually think what Suarez, listen, I don't know the guy personally, but I think someone that bites people like this, someone who literally disrespected Patrice Evra like this, should have been banned for a long, long time. 2 bites when he was at Ajax, the one with Chiellini in the World Cup, what he did with Patrice Evra, this guy. But I know that the PR, the Barcelona thing, he was one of the best players around in that time. I genuinely think stuff like that, he should have been banned. But the problem is, he was a very good footballer, and there's a lot of money involved. And that is the problem. Suarez, what he did is a disgusting thing. And it's not like that racist thing that he did with Patrice Evra, and also the biting someone's ear. Bro, are you crazy? And biting someone's shoulder? Are you crazy? This thing should not be allowed, to be honest. But listen, it is what it is. It is what it is, to be honest. Bro, Patrice Evra spoke publicly about this shit. Patrice Evra spoke publicly about this shit. Patrice Evra. And I'm like, how can this guy, which with all due respect to Luis Suarez, how can this guy get away with all of these stuff? But anyway, it is what it is. Sean, big up Sean for being a member for 8 months. Give Trent, Van Dijk, and Mo their money. Well deserved. We'll talk about that, Sean. Appreciate you so much. Donna calling Mo, Mr. Mo, why you don't invite Mr. Das? Now, when there is a chance, I'm gonna invite Das, Mike Das. When there is a chance, I'm gonna invite Mike Das. Listen, guys. Can we get a little bit of the likes up? I don't know how many likes are we on. We aren't even on 100 likes, which is absolutely disgusting. So we need the likes at least to 150. We need 100 like, guys. Guys, hit the like button. Support the channel, because we are about to speak about something completely different than this. What about to speak about the Trent mega deal, though? Because this is rumors that Trent Alexander-Arnold is about to sign a new deal until 2028 and earn about 300K a week. 300K a week is a lot of money. My point about this thing with Trent Alexander-Arnold is, David Ornstein said that Arsenal have wrapped up everything about Calafiori now. So Calafiori is done, to be honest. Calafiori is done. This is absolutely, I think Calafiori is a done deal from Ornstein. We need to actually, I need to actually do something about this. Just give me a second. Calafiori is a done deal. Is it a here we go yet? I don't think it's a here we go. It's not a here we go yet, but Calafiori deal is absolutely, I think it's done. I think Calafiori deal is done. Let me just update the tags and update the things and do all the stuff. Here we go. Calafiori deal, I think it's done. The Calafiori deal, I think it's done. The medical and the signature. No, so until I finish this, we will talk about Calafiori in a second. Trent Alexander-Arnold, though, should he sign a new contract? If he wants to stay with his boyhood club, yes. It's a good move from Liverpool. He'd absolutely deserve this. He absolutely deserved this. I actually think that if they get Trent, Salah, and Virgil van Dijk new contracts, I think Liverpool are moving into an absolutely the right direction. I think Liverpool are having a trust. If what I want to say about the Trent deal, if they can convince Trent to sign this contract, right? To sign this contract, that means they actually are able to convince him that Arne Slot is the right guy. This is how I'm viewing this news. This news is different than just Virgil van Dijk signing a new deal or Mohamed Salah signing a new deal. This is Trent trusting Enzo Maresca. Sorry, trusting Arne Slot. This is Trent Alexander-Arnold trusting Arne Slot. He is someone who is essential to Liverpool. He is someone who is absolutely essential to the way Liverpool play. If he signs that contract and renews the contract with Liverpool, it only means one thing. It only means that Michael Edwards and Arne Slot were able to convince the guy that, listen, Arne Slot is the right guy for Liverpool. Arne Slot is the right guy for you. You're going to get better under him. He's the right guy. There is no risk here with Arne Slot. It is something that you need to sign. In my opinion, this is the right move for Liverpool. Is it the right move for Trent? We are yet to see. We are yet to know, though. Andrew here is saying the next Liverpool captain, I hope he signs. I know that from a Liverpool perspective, it's an absolutely fantastic and an amazing deal. But is it the right one for Trent? Are you guys, and I'm asking Liverpool fans here, do you guys trust Arne Slot to the point that you trust him to get you to the winning, to the glory, to winning titles and all the stuff? That is what Trent need to think about. And there is a massive difference between Trent, Mohamed Salah and Van Dijk. Mohamed Salah and Van Dijk are two in their 30s. Trent Alexander-Arnold, right, is someone who is, this contract is his biggest contract. This next contract is his biggest contract. Should he trust Arne Slot and just sign a new contract? If I want, remove your tribal hat as a Liverpool fan. As a Liverpool fan, I wanted to ask you guys something. If you're advising Trent, should he trust Arne Slot blind faith and say, I will sign a new contract, I will go for the money, I will make the 300K, right? And then I'm going to trust that Arne Slot will lead this team to glory. Should he sign this contract? Apart from being the boyhood club and apart from all the stuff about him going to Real Madrid and the chances for him to play in the Galacticos, blah, blah, blah. My point about this is, should Trent himself trust Arne Slot? Should he trust the Liverpool Football Club that they assign the right manager to take them to the glory? That is the thing. Are you someone, and if you're a Liverpool fan, do you trust Arne Slot blindly? I don't think so. It is blindly, by the way. I don't think it's blindly. I think that it is based on talk. It is based on him sitting with Michael Edwards, him sitting with Arne Slot, him sitting with the Liverpool board and seeing what is the future holding. Because this is a tricky situation that Trent is at. 26 years old, if I'm not mistaken. This is his next big contract. What if he signs a 300K a week contract and Arne Slot doesn't turn out to be the manager that can get the best out of Trent or get the best out of these players and take them to the glory, and Liverpool go into the hole that Man United went to, or Chelsea went to after the change of the board, or even Arsenal went to with Arsene Wenger and Unai Emery? What if that happens? What if that happens? What if that happens? And I'm genuinely, it's not an agenda against Liverpool, but it's just a serious talk about the situation at Liverpool Football Club. It's a serious talk about the situation at Liverpool Football Club. Would you say that Real Madrid is more guaranteed success at the current moment than Liverpool with Arne Slot? That is the thing. It's all about the risk. But again, Trent Alexander-Arnold grew up at Liverpool. He's a Scouse. He grew up at Liverpool Football Club, led Liverpool, and was part of the massive Liverpool rebuild that won them the Champions League, won them the league. So if it was me and I'm advising Trent, I'm going to say sign the new contract with Liverpool, because that is your club. That is the club that needs you at the current moment. And see what happens. See what happens now or next year or anything. See what happens. Fabrizio said something about Spurs. What is this? Gangwon FC? Who's that? Who's this? Who's this guy? Who's Spurs? Who's that guy? I don't know who's that person. Where is it? What is the Gangwon FC? Where do they play? They play K-League. That's the South Korean league. So Spurs now are signing players from the Korean league, and I don't know who that player is, and I don't know who that club is. Never watched that player. I don't know who that player is, so I can't just talk about him here. Bro, people are signing Calafioris and Ugartes and Lenioros, and Liverpool are renewing Trent and talking to Ederson. And you want, with all due respect, like I just don't know the guy. He can be a hit, he can be a miss. And I get what Sean is saying. Maybe. I actually think that there has to be a gentleman agreement with Liverpool that, listen, if things don't go my way or our way for Liverpool, maybe I should go to Real Madrid. If Real Madrid are serious about me, and he shouldn't be doing Liverpool dirty and leave on a free, to be honest. I think I actually think he should actually sign the new contract, maybe put a release clause so he won't go on a free. And if Real Madrid really want him, they have to pay some money. He has to pay some money. But the Calafiori deal, I think, is what else is there for the news? Yes, the Calafiori deal is, I think it's Ornstein said, let me just put it on the screen. Let me put it on the screen as well so we can talk about it as well. Yes. So Ornstein said all the agreements are in place. We'll talk about Arsenal a little bit. All the agreements are in place for Riccardo Calafiori to join Arsenal. 22 years old defender, just need to do the medical and sign, but deal essentially done. If everything goes to plan, aim is for Italian international to link up with Arsenal on the USA tour. Okay, great news for Arsenal. Now moving to the next target. Now moving on to the next target then. This is Calafiori done for Arsenal. They need to move on to the next target. And the one that I wanted to talk about is this. Arsenal are still interested in Athletic. And I wanted to ask the Arsenal fans about one thing. Should Arsenal go and submit a bid or put in the money for Nico Williams? Here's the question. What Man United did is Man United went and submitted a bid that is higher than what Real Madrid reportedly said. And submit a higher bid like what Manchester United did. Try to go and offer, should they go all in for Nico Williams? I actually heard Terry talk this morning about Arsenal need to push more a little bit, or Chelsea need to push more for the player. And I completely agree with what Terry said. Arsenal should push a little bit more for Nico Williams. Maybe they should go and try to agree personal terms with the guy. By the way, at the end, Lenioro is a Manchester United player. I know that at the end, I said that Manchester United are having a player that doesn't want to play with. I don't think Nico Williams is opposing Arsenal. That's the difference. Publicly, Nico Williams didn't say that he favors Barcelona or Arsenal. I don't think he said he favors Barcelona. I think Arsenal maybe should do the due diligence and maybe try to agree the personal terms with him. Maybe Arsenal should go and offer him a contract and maybe wait and see and ask him, are you willing to play for Arsenal? Are you willing to play for Arsenal? Because there is a possibility that Barcelona might not be able to pull off this deal. Why don't Arsenal go all in for Nico Williams? Maybe offer more to Athletic Bilbao than the release clause. And I know that the release clause is like if Barcelona triggered the release clause, he has to go. But maybe put a little bit of pressure. Offer him something more. Offer Nico Williams higher wages. Offer Nico Williams a higher wages than what Barcelona are offering. See, maybe Arsenal can convince him. By the way, I don't think that I read that his dream is to play for Barcelona, by the way. I don't think so. If you show me an article, that says that he said he only wants to play for Barcelona, yeah, I will say, yeah, this is the same as the any Euro situation. But I don't think that I read anywhere, because otherwise we'll be saying that he's done. He only wants to move to Barcelona. He's waiting for, his priority is to stay in Spain. But I don't think he says that he only wants to play for Barcelona, because there is a talk today that he can stay at Bilbao. His manager today said that he can stay at Bilbao. Today. I think people say that because of the Lamine Yamal, as some people say in the chat, and him being on the left and Lamine Yamal on the right side. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't think there is someone that said that, yeah, that he said publicly, like Linioro, that he wants to play for Real Madrid. I can't remember Nico Williams saying that he wants only to play for Barcelona. I can't remember that. I just don't think so. I can't remember anyone saying this. Anyone saying this. So I actually think Arsenal should, if he's your big target, if he's your biggest target, Arsenal should make a little bit of a push for him. You should try to make a little push for him. By the way, if Chelsea as well are serious about Nico Williams, maybe Chelsea can go and offer him. But the problem with Chelsea is that Chelsea don't want to offer high wages. That's another problem. Chelsea don't want to offer high wages. That is the thing, and that is the main thing, that Chelsea aren't going to go and offer the guy 250, 260K. That is the thing with Chelsea, that I don't think they're going to go and agree personal terms. Mikel Moreno soon, and now moving to the forward line for Arsenal. I don't know who is it going to be. I don't know who is going to be. Right? The forward line. Is it going to be Pedro Neto? Is it going to be Gyökeres? Is it going to be Nico Williams? I actually don't know. I'm moving on because I'm not staying for long, to be honest, because I have the football terrace after this. Moving on to Arsenal, to another part of the show. Man United are moving serious. Man United are targeting both Ugarte and Amrabat. By the way, Amrabat still on the table for them with a new deal. It's not going to be the price that Fiorentina wants. It's going to be a completely different price that Fiorentina wants, because he has 1 year left. He doesn't want to stay. He wants to go. Basically, it can be wrapped up with 10 million pounds or something. They're going to get Amrabat, by the way, for a very, very cheap price. Erik ten Hag likes him. He likes to stay at Manchester. And I think it's going to be a cheap deal for them. plus another DM. And I think that completes the midfield of Manchester United. Assuming that they aren't going to sell Casemiro. That is another deal. So, in my opinion, this deal for Manchester United with both Ugarte and Amrabat, it puts them a little bit better than where they are now with Ugarte, Amrabat, Kobe Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes, and they're still going to keep, I think they're going to sell McTominay, and they might keep Casemiro because there's no one else that is coming in for Casemiro. And guys, we cannot be on 159 likes. At least we need 200 likes, people. At least we need 200 people. The thing about Amrabat, if he stays at Man United and he goes to Man United, Amrabat won't be a starter. He will be a bench player. Man United play in Europa League. They need a player like Amrabat that is cheap. And he can be the bench player for someone like Ugarte. I think it's a good backup to have. And I don't think it's a bad backup to have at all. I think it's a good deal. For Chalobah, though, which someone said Chalobah in the chat, I like Chalobah. I think Chelsea played their hands wrong with Chalobah, to be honest, because they left him in England. They left him in England. And that is, basically, they are telling people that we want to sell this guy. Basically, that's what they're telling people. And it's just a big deal. They're telling people that they want to sell Chalobah. So no one is going to pay the 30 million pounds for him. That's a shit move by Chelsea, because now Chalobah is a very good player. I rate Chalobah, and I actually wanted Chalobah at Inter on that right center back in a back three. But again, Chelsea asked for a lot of money, and Inter aren't going to pay that much money for him. And I think they played their hands wrong here. I think they played their hands wrong. Listen, I'm not going to stay for long. I'm going to have the football terrace in a bit. Hit that like button before you guys go. We still have 300 people here. So I'm hoping that I can get to 200 likes before we end the show. So hit the like button now. The like button looks like thumbs up underneath your live chat. And you can get me to 300 to 200 likes. Simple. And it doesn't cost you a penny. It just helps the algorithms, helps the show. So hit that like button. I'm going to go because I need to rest for half an hour before I go on the football terrace, which is this video is going to take you to the football terrace. So get me to 200 likes, guys, before I go. Before I go, guys, hit that like. Okay, 25 likes away from 200. It is simple. Doesn't cost you a penny. And we'll see you guys soon. We're out of here, people. Hit that like button. Big up everybody that joined us. And we'll see you all soon. I'm literally drained, Safe. Too much content lately. Too much content. Cheers, guys.